Welcome to the NCAA Baseball Regionals presented by Capital One. On a beautiful night in Chapel Hill, second game of the day, the 4-seed VCU, the Atlantic 10 champions. They authored a huge turnaround season. They faced the 5 national seed, North Carolina, a program humming on all cylinders the last 3 years. Game 1 was maybe the best of the tournament so far. East Carolina scored 4 runs in the 14th inning and beat 2-seed Tennessee in the longest NCAA tournament game in Pirates program history. So East Carolina is waiting tomorrow night for the winner of this one in this double elimination format here in the Chapel Hill Regional. With that, we say hello. Thanks for joining us once again. Ben McDonald, Mike Monaco with you, and what a classic in the first one, and now North Carolina and VCU. For UNC, they're rolling along as a program. 3 years in a row, a top 5 national seed, and Ben, once again, one of the best pitching staffs in the country.
Yeah, it's about run prevention, and when I think of North Carolina, that's what I think about is run prevention. You look at what they've done in the ACC. I mean, the top pitching staff in the ACC for the 3rd consecutive year. It's a top 10 overall staff, and you talk about defense, too. They have the defense to match it as well. It's the #1 defense in the ACC, a top 10 defense as well. So that's North Carolina's bread and butter. But don't sleep on their offense, man. That offense, 8.5 runs per game, and that's why overall they're a top 5 overall national seed.
Ryan Lynch is going to face VCU, who this year has had a 20-win turnaround. Jacob Lee is their star. He showed up a huge recruit. Good year last year individually. This year with the team rolling, 3rd in the A10 in OPS.
Yeah, and I tell you what, they got it going in the A10 tournament. Went 5-1 to win their tournament championship. They averaged nearly 10 runs per game. Of course, Jacob Lee was the most outstanding player. Hit .320 in the tournament, a couple of homers, and 8 RBIs. And boy, the sophomore, 17 long balls on the year. So he's a huge part of their offense.
A little bit of a great scene here today. We got the Rams and the Heels on the way. VCU, 37 wins this season. They went 20-10 in the A10 and won the tournament title. You see in the A10 tournament, to Ben's point, 58 runs across 6 games. Real hard-earned wins in rain-soaked Tysons, Virginia. And they're in their 4th regional the last 6 years. With that offense going up against this arm for North Carolina. The Saturday starter starts in game 1. 3rd-team All-ACC right-hander Ryan Lynch, who's a draft-eligible sophomore and gets the ball today.
Yeah, big kid, 6'4", 235-pound right-hander, 4-4 on the year with a 4.44 ERA. 77 innings pitched. See the strikeouts. Pretty good strikeout to walk ratio. Fastball, slider, changeup. And that fastball will tick up in the upper 90s from time to time. It's going to sit right around 94, 95. And he's going to use it heavy, Mike. I mean, it's 69% heaters. A little slider and a changeup as well.
And North Carolina made the decision to pitch off from the great Pat James, who covers the Tar Heels. It's only the 2nd time in North Carolina's last 10 regional appearances that they pitch off, meaning they don't go with their Friday guy on Friday in their first game. So Jason DeCaro goes tomorrow. Lynch moves up and starts today against the 4-seed VCU. Scott Forbes said to us he views both guys as Friday night starters, of course, but you save DeCaro for tomorrow in some ways. Can you get there in a 1-0 game tomorrow night? But first you got to deal with VCU.
Yeah, look, we've seen a lot of upsets and some upsets in the making so far this year. So you never know about your game 1 of regionals for sure. But you got to feel pretty confident in Ryan Lynch. I mean, he's a sophomore. He's got some experience under his belt. You know, mostly a reliever last year. Did have a few starts and, you know, been in the starting rotation the entire time this year for North Carolina. So at home with this guy and your offense you have, you're pretty safe running out your Saturday guy.
In front of a packed house at the Bosch in Chapel Hill, Ryan Lynch is ready against Dante DeFranco, and away we go with 95 and a foul ball for strike 1 on the 6th-year senior shortstop for VCU, who's from Hillsborough, North Carolina, about 20 minutes away. 5 years at Charlotte, and now plays in front of all this Carolina blue at the Bosch. Big old crowd packed in for this one on a gorgeous Friday night. 81 degrees, just a light breeze rippling.
Beautiful. Not much humidity at all. I mean, we couldn't ask for any better weather than this.
No. 0-2 just outside. Boy, you like the stuff. I mean, there's so much to like about Ryan Lynch. These turbo sinkers in 96.
I think he's just starting to tap into his potential. You know, from a scouting standpoint, you love the body size. First of all, he looks like a big leaguer at 6'4", 235. Sinker slider guy. That's an east to west kind of guy. He will elevate from time to time, but his game is east and west. He likes to get that two-seamer going left to right, the slider going right to left. That's kind of how he lives. He's developed a changeup the last couple of years to try to offset the left-handed hitters a little bit.
Scott Forbes also liked the matchup. 7 right-hand hitters in this VCU order. Steady stream of 96 from Lynch. And then it's going to be a big key what his slider looks like, because by his own admission this year, the slider's been inconsistent.
Yeah, opponents have hit 315 off of that slider. That's a pretty high number.
Says he's had some good weekends with it and some terrible weekends with it. DeFranco rolls one softly at second. Again, Gallagher. And one away to start. Dante DeFranco set down. Atop this VCU lineup. What a run they had in Virginia, in Tysons at the A10 tournament. 6 games in 5 days. They lost to the University of Rhode Island by 1 run on Friday. They had to come back and win 3 straight games, including 2 to get back at URI and punch a ticket.
Yeah, they didn't put up runs on the scoreboard those final 3 games. They put up points on the scoreboard, man. 13 runs, 18, and then 9 in their final 3 games. But what a turnaround it's been for VCU. You mentioned it earlier. I mean, 20-game improvement. That's almost unheard of. You go from 17 wins to 37 wins this year.
And they had the 2nd worst record in the A10 last year, only better than UMass. It was year 1 as the head coach for that guy, Sean Thompson, who's 30 years old.
I know.
VCU pitcher.
We talked to him yesterday. I felt like we were talking to one of the players. I mean, that's how young he is.
Michael Petit strikes out looking on 97, and a great start for Ryan Lynch.
That's not fair, because that's when Lynch is right, he can backdoor that two-seamer to right-handers. He can front hip it to the left-handers. When he starts it off the outside edge, you tend to give up on it, then it just creeps right back over the outside edge. Watch this pitch here. Starts it off, and look at that late movement. And it's hard to make a ball move in that amount of time, because that fastball's at 97 miles an hour.
The horizontal break on it was 17 inches, and then he dials up 98 to start out Ty Lethert, the catcher, in the 3 spot.
Lynch is amped up, man.
'98 to start against Lethert. 97. I mean, this is about as firm as Lynch has been.
This is real here. And it's not only just high velocity, it's movement. You combine the movement with the velocity, and that's what makes it special.
Against the 5th-year senior, Ty Lethert from Woodbury, Minnesota. 99. Best bolt of the season right there from Lynch.
This reminds me a little bit of Paul Skeens when he was at LSU his junior year, because it wasn't the velocity, although the velocity extremely high, but it was the movement. You start getting 17 inches of movement, and it gets in the, that's what I call the special zone when it starts to move like that.
Put it in context. 17 inches. You always say that is the width of.
That's the width of the plate. And when you have that kind of stuff at this level, it's about attacking over the white part of the plate. Get your stuff over the white part of the plate. You can command the zone, you can control it and command it. Well, he kind of controls the zone, and the command piece could come a little bit later on. But right now, at this level, I just say attack the white part.
And that is the big focus for Ryan Lynch. Scott Forbes and Brian Gaines, the pitching coach, they've been talking all season about just coming out and attacking.
Yeah. Sometimes you have to convince. Some pitchers don't know how good they are and how good they can be and how difficult they are to hit. And these are one of these guys you have to convince, dude, your stuff is special. I don't need you to nitpick around. I need you just to attack the plate is what I need you to do, because that's what kind of stuff you have.
One of the best pitching staffs in college baseball. Top 10 in the country in ERA. Led the ACC in ERA again this year. Ryan Lynch's 7th pitch to Ty Lethert. Fouled away by Lethert. Ty Lethert did a couple of years of junior college ball at Iowa Central, then 2 years at Milwaukee. By the way, how about the win for Milwaukee today against Auburn?
How about that, man? Auburn, a top 8 national seed. Milwaukee just bounces up in there and knocks them off.
We got upsets all over the place. 3-2. Lethert strikes out on 97 through the front door. And look at Ryan Lynch nodding yes. He is nails right out of the gates. 2 Ks and a 1-2-3 first. Talk so much about North Carolina's pitching. Well, don't forget that the offense has fared pretty well this year. 5th in the ACC in runs per game. And in May, nearly 10 runs per game. And when you think about this time of the year, you think about Gavin Gallagher, who has mashed in the last 2 NCAA tournaments.
Yeah, you talk about a big performer. When the lights get the brightest, boy, Gallagher has performed at his best. You see what he's done? 2 NCAA tournaments, man, off the hook. 5 long balls, 21 RBIs. And how about the batting average? Nearly 350.
North Carolina will face The 6'8", Ben McDonald-sized 23-year-old redshirt senior from Peoria, Arizona. The Kansas transfer, Patrick Stites, who's their ace, first-team all-conference, who led the league in innings pitched.
Yeah, he's had a tremendous year for VCU. 92 2/3, 83 punch-outs, only 22 walks. And for a big, tall guy, the mechanics must be pretty good, because the taller you get, the harder it is to kind of sync it all up. Well, he's been able to sync it up. You can tell by the whip. The whip is outstanding. 4-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio. Now, it's not a huge arm. 87 and 91, and maybe some of that extension will be a little bit deceptive for some of the hitters. Slider, curveball, and a kick change. The new change has been out for a couple of years. He's throwing the kick change as well. We'll kind of get into that a little bit later on.
On his road back from Tommy John a couple years ago when he was at Kansas, came back very quickly and was back for the opening weekend last year at Kansas. Injury-plagued season last year with a shoulder issue, but rehabbed in the offseason, transferred to VCU, and this guy has been their horse. And he will take a crack at North Carolina, whose star shortstop Jake Schaffner leads off. First-team All-ACC for the Janesville, Wisconsin native in Schaffner, who is second on the team in OPS. He's one of the best shortstops in the country. He's right outside the top 100 on our ESPN MLB draft rankings. A transfer from North Dakota State.
Yeah, he can do a little bit of everything, too. 25 stolen bases. He's a complete player.
Spent 2 years at North Dakota State. He was playing in a regional last year against Arkansas. Scott Forbes had the television on and liked what he saw from Jake Schaffner, who soon after hit the portal. 2-1 from Stites, upper 80s, as you said, with the fastball, and that's a good thing for VCU. We were talking with JoJo Howie, the pitching coach, yesterday. He said when Stites is at his best, he's not overthrowing, he's not trying to impress scouts, and he's just pitching.
That's right. If you could get him through the first inning, because you know the nerve, even though he's a redshirt senior, he's been around a while, but still the nerves have to be pretty high. This is going to be a pretty good start for him.
Comebacker for the first out, courtesy Jake Schaffner.
These first innings can be tough, although in game one, both of our starting pitchers were spot on. But I always say the first inning for a starting pitcher is the most difficult. And there's a couple reasons why. One, the bullpen mound is not the same as the game mound. And what you had in the bullpen doesn't necessarily translate to the game mound. And you can't create that adrenaline flow in the bullpen that you get when that first batter of the game steps in. So everything you thought you had in the bullpen sometimes does not really translate to the game mound.
And then especially in front of this audience, too, this kind of stage in the postseason. Here's the center fielder, Owen Hull. Another transfer, Hull from George Mason. And he, too, like Schaffner, was first-team All-ACC. How about for Owen Hull? 75 RBIs.
That's a lot of ribbies, man.
And just 7 home runs. It blew Chris Burke's brain when he learned that.
I mean, I like the long ball, too. But to me, how do you perform with runners in scoring position? And I haven't looked at his runners in scoring position, but if you got that many RBIs with only 7 home runs, you're doing it with runners in scoring position. To me, that's the most important stat. I love the hard hit balls. I love the home runs. But, man, how do you perform when your offense is in the red zone? And what I mean by that, red zone is runners in scoring position. How do you perform in those moments?
0-2 from Patrick Stites.
Let's take a look at Patrick Stites. All 6'8" of him, gets nice and balanced over the rubber. That's pretty good. The two things pitchers fight the most is, can you get and gather yourself over the top of the rubber? And then as you go down the slope, does your front side stay in the glove? In other words, you don't want to get east and west.
This is hit on a line and caught by Alec Warden at second for out number 2. That ball was scorched. 109 off the bat from Hull. What do you mean by that, stay in the glove?
When you go down the slope, your front side of your arm, the front side of your body, which is your glove side, it is your steering wheel. So as you go down the slope, you want to point your glove, your front shoulder into the catcher's mitt as long as you can. When I talk about east to west, a lot of the mistakes the pitchers make is when they start to pull off. When you start to pull off, that's when the ball a lot of times will leave and stay arm side. So as you go down the slope, you keep your front side in the target. It is your steering wheel.
Stites pretty smooth in his delivery. 2 outs, base is empty, and here's Gavin Gallagher. junior captain from Apex, North Carolina, third-team All-ACC. And if you haven't heard by now, Gavin Gallagher mashes in the postseason. Look at his numbers. ACC tournament, regionals, supers, Omaha in his career. The OPS in the postseason, 1,100. Wow. On the ground up the middle, and no surprise.
What's new, huh?
This time of the year for Gavin Gallagher.
North Carolina had another guy a few years ago by the name of Honeycutt that was pretty good in the postseason. Well, this is where Gallagher gets a lot of his base hits, man. He's a gap-to-gap guy. Does have 12 homers on the year, but he will use the backside of the field, and he will use the center part of the field as well. It's a very disciplined offense.
So man on for Macon Winslow in the cleanup spot. DH takes a breaker for strike one. Winslow from Hertford, North Carolina, also third-team All-ACC. Duke transfer. Scott Forbes said to us yesterday, "I'm thankful that Chris Pollard left Duke for Virginia." Portal open. Winslow entered. First one to leave. And comes across the way down Tobacco Road to Chapel Hill.
Now, North Carolina, not a big stolen base team, 60 of them on the year, but when you face a guy like Stites who's 6'8", sometimes it takes those guys a little bit of time to unwind and get the ball to home plate.
His 1-1 with a slide step, a roller up the middle into center field, a base hit. Gallagher goes first to third, and they're at the corners for North Carolina.
Another base hit right back from whence it came. Boy, Gallagher came around. That's what North Carolina, even though they don't have a lot of stolen bases, what North Carolina does well is take an extra 90 on you. And Gallagher came around second base and kind of ran right in the face of Michael Petit out in center field. I mean, he's looking right at him and runs right in his face. So a first and third situation with 2 out for the Tar Heels.
And a chance here to strike early. Eric Paulson's in the 5 spot. Junior from Long Island, Stony Brook transfer at first baseman. This one popped away from Ty Lethert, and that allows Macon Winslow to move up 90. 2 in scoring position. Talked about first innings. You always do for starting pitchers, and even for a vet in Patrick Stites. Can he stabilize here?
Yeah, you're just trying to figure out what's working for you, where you are mechanically. Can you slow your body down enough to make pitches where you need to?
1-0. Pulled by Paulson into right field. It drops down and gets past Adelman. Gallagher and Winslow score, and North Carolina's up and running.
Well, that's how fast they can strike to him. You think about the way this inning started. The first 2 guys make out on really weak contact. So you got 2 down, then you get back-to-back singles, and now a 2 RBI double for North Carolina. And watch Paulson here. He just goes up. It looks like an off-speed pitch and just hammers it out toward right center field. Adelman, an outstanding effort out in right field. Comes up a little bit short, but he knocks it down and at least keeps him in front of him. That ball gets to the wall. It's probably going to end up being a triple, but still North Carolina strikes first, and we're going to have a mound visit.
VCU pitching coach JoJo Howie's out to visit. Boy, all with 2 outs. Gallagher and Winslow, little rollers up the middle, and then Paulson on the off speed hits it 103 off his bat, and just like that, a start the Tar Heels were looking for. And so good when they score first, because they got one of the best staffs with 2 ace relievers.
Yeah, you get this team a lead late in the ball game. And that's the idea for North Carolina, is get those 2 aces, get those 2 guys, let them work through 5 innings, maybe 6 innings for you, and then here comes an elite bullpen.
Just the way they would want to start. And now to the 6th spot for Cooper Nicholson. JUCO transfer, junior from West Des Moines, Iowa. Team leader in OPS, hitting down in the 6th spot. 15 pumps, 46 driven in. Scott Forbes said to us yesterday he's had a great year. He's got the most power on the team. Hard exit velos, just raw power. Scott Forbes said Cooper Nicholson's going to get his swing off. As you like to say, there are going to be collisions at the plate.
He is looking to do damage. You could tell the way he swung at that first pitch.
Patrick Stites 1-1. Outside, 2-1 the count on Nicholson. By the way, we got a major upset that just went final out in Westwood. UCLA, the #1 overall seed, lost its opener to 4-seed St. Mary's. Wow. Pulled into left field, a base hit. Cooper Nicholson pulsing the windmill around third. 3-0 Heels. Fast start right out of the gates.
Well, you mentioned it. This North Carolina offense, man, it has got off to a really solid start, but it's been really good as of late. North Carolina feels like a team to me that is peaking at the right time. Pitching defense has been solid all year long, and this offense recently has just grabbed a different gear. And again, remember this, there was nobody out, or 2 out, I should say, and nobody on, and all of a sudden, you get 4 consecutive base hits, and the Heels up 3-0 already.
Ben, to your point, 11 games in May. Entering today, North Carolina's offense has averaged 9.6 runs per game.
That's strong.
Tyler Howe is the only freshman starter in the 1 through 9 lineup for Scott Forbes.
And that's the thing about North Carolina is you don't talk enough about their offense because their pitching and their defense kind of lead the way. But this offense is a top 20 offense in all of D1 baseball as well.
They've hit some more home runs as this year's gone. Scott Forbes has said it's an athletic group that they've maybe gotten stronger. Like weight room benefits have paid off the longer these guys have been going this season and been in the program. 0-2 on Howe. Takes outside from Stites.
And you look at North Carolina, too, it's an older team, a lot of juniors, mostly juniors, a few seniors sprinkled in. Now, Howe, the freshman, out in left field, but for the most part, it's all juniors and seniors.
Howe on the ground to short. Dante DeFranco ends the inning. But a 3 spot in the bottom of the first for the Tar Heels. Eric Paulson with a 2-run double. Cooper Nicholson with an RBI single. Off we go. On day 1, Georgia Tech hangs 22 runs on UIC with 7 home runs. Milwaukee knocks off #4 national seed Auburn, first top 4 national seed to lose its opener since 2017. And then UCLA just went down, we told you, against St. Mary's. We got to give some credit to our friend Mike Rooney. He said watch out for St. Mary's in that Los Angeles regional. And yeah, we remember the 14-inning game that got today started in Chapel Hill. 3-run lead for Ryan Lynch as we go to the second. Jacob Lee. The VCU star leads off.
Well, #1 overall national seeds have not fared well in the NCAA tournament over the years. What's it been? I think Miami won the very first one, and then Tennessee back in 24. That's the only two #1 overall national seeds to win the national title.
Remember Vandy got bounced? What was that, last year?
Yeah, on a regional, right?
Jacob Lee pops it up in foul ground, and Eric Paulson makes the play in foul ground. 4 up, 4 down for Ryan Lynch. We've had some 2 seeds struggle out of the gates too. Of course, 2-3s are great matchups. Tennessee saw that against East Carolina. Heck of a performance. Oklahoma State was a real trendy 2 seed. They went down earlier today. Oregon State, a 2 seed, went down against Washington State, and Boston College, a 2 seed, lost to Liberty. Here's Nick Flores. Flores, a doubles machine, is what Sean Thompson, his head coach, said to us. Told us Flores probably doesn't get enough credit for as good as he's been the last 2 years. He's had 2 very nice seasons to start his career. Nicholson across, and there's 2 away for Ryan Lynch, looking sharp.
Yeah, Ryan Lynch doing what he does best. Sinker slider guy, likes to keep it down. When he's right, it's a lot of ground balls.
Ryan Lynch led the team with 77 innings so far. And now he faces Nate Kirkpatrick. Canadian, he's from British Columbia out of Surrey. 3rd on the team in OPS, right around 900. Second-year starter after Kirkpatrick, get this, began his career at St. Mary's. Woo. With 16 inches of horizontal run.
And that's easy too. I mean, it's probably max effort in today's game, but it doesn't look max effort. It looks nice and smooth by Ryan Lynch.
Slider, and no swing on appeal, down to first at Jeff Wright. So much to like about Lynch. Last year, a stud in the bullpen for Carolina as a freshman. Similar to what Caden Glauber's role is this year. Sharply into left field, a base hit from Nate Kirkpatrick. 101 off his bat, and VCU has its first base runner.
And that's a perfect example, a little bit of the struggles of Ryan Lynch with that slider of his. If you'll go back and look at this pitch, it just kind of, that one just kind of set right in the middle of the plate and spun. Almost backed up. Watch this. That's what you call just a backup breaking ball. And boy, those tend to go a long way when they left in the heart of the plate.
Brings up the first baseman, Quinn Mayer. So when you're backing up the slider, what can you do to snap it off?
He's kind of getting under it a little bit. When you get under the slider, you want to be more on top of it to kind of rip the top of it to get that right to left that you're looking for, that little depth to it. When you get under it a little bit, it just kind of sits there and spins, and those are the ones that get turned around pretty quickly. So it's just a consistency thing for him. And again, he's just a sophomore. He's trying to figure it out, and he will.
Yeah, he had a real good season. 3rd team All-ACC after the freshman All-American season last year. 0-2 to Mayer. In the air, center field at Owen Hull. Ending over. Couple zeros on the board for Ryan Lynch in Chapel Hill. Lovely Chapel Hill, North Carolina. They are used to hosting postseason baseball here at this time of the year. So much history with this program. It's been to Omaha 12 times, including 8 times in the last 19 NCAA tournaments.
Yeah, runners up in 2006 and 2007 for North Carolina at the College World Series.
They went to 4 straight College World Series, 06 to 09. 2 years ago, got there as the #4 national seed. Last year, lost in Game 3 of a Super. There's the #5 national seed. Nice play deep in the hole by Alec Warden on Colin Hynek, leading off the bottom of the second.
Schiff was on there, and boy, did it ever pay off, too.
Well, what a year again. We told you 3 years in a row, a top 5 national seed, 45 wins, second in the ACC.
You just think about consistency. And again, it all begins with pitching and defense, and that's what North Carolina seems to do best just about every year. They take care of the baseball and above average pitching.
Carter French against Patrick Stites. Yeah, last week in the D1 baseball top 25, North Carolina was second in the country. I mean, only behind UCLA. They were ranked ahead of Georgia Tech, and Tar Heels fans certainly know this North Carolina team took 2 out of 3 from Georgia Tech in the regular season. Into the shift at Warden to retire French. 2 down, a couple ground ball outs for Patrick Stites. North Carolina went to the ACC title game in Charlotte. Lost that to Georgia Tech on Sunday, 13-6. After a win in the quarters against Virginia Tech and a win in the semis Saturday against Pitt. Back to the top, here's Jake Schaffner. 2 outs, bases empty. He rolled back to Patrick Stites to start the bottom of the first. Squares and pulls back, and it's ball 1. These teams, by the way, met in the regular season back in late February, early on in the year. North Carolina won it 13-3. VCU, a different club since then. Carolina, you could say the same about the way their offense is going now as opposed to then.
Well, this is exactly how the first inning started, too, for Patrick Stites, too, as well. I mean, 2 quick outs, and then all of a sudden you get 4 consecutive base hits by the Heels to net 3 runs. 2 more quick outs here in the second.
And 3-0. The guy in Stites who's been such a strike thrower this year. Sean Thompson, his head coach, said to us yesterday, this guy won't hurt himself with the free pass. He can make 7 innings look pretty easy. But a 4-pitch walk and a 2-out base runner, just like the first.
And Schaffner will run, too. I mean, 25 for 28 in stolen bases.
It's a real athletic position player group for North Carolina. Especially these guys at the top. Schaffner aboard for Owen Ho. Owen Ho, we told you, transferred in from George Mason. 2 years there. Didn't play much 2 years ago as a true freshman, and then last year had a big breakout season. He was a draft eligible sophomore. But instead of going to pro ball, maybe getting, shoot, $400,000, $500,000, something like that, decided to transfer, came here to North Carolina, and he has made himself some money in doing so. Hall swings through the first pitch off speed.
That might have been that kick change, too.
That's the new pitch post injuries for Patrick Stites. He used to have a really good changeup, but post-surgery, he really struggled with it. So what is the kick change?
The kick change,
it's so popular.
Yeah, it came popular a couple years ago, and it profiles almost like a split-finger fastball. We talk about being able to pronate and throw a real circle change. You have to be able to pronate and turn the ball over. The kick change, you're almost like a two-seam profile, but you put your middle finger and your ring finger on it with a circle change grip, but then you take the middle finger and you kick it up a little bit. And the idea is when you throw it, the ball actually comes off your ring finger, so it kicks the ball and the axis of the ball a little bit sideways, and you get that sideways spin going towards home plate. So it doesn't have a whole lot of left to right in it like you see right-handed changeups. It's got more depth to it because it kicks the axis to where you get that bottom out almost like a split finger fastball.
Kind of kick it up, not fully spiking it, but lift up that finger.
Lift up the middle finger a little bit where the ring finger is the last finger to touch the ball as it goes towards home plate, and that's what allows it to kick the axis and start to spin a little bit funky. And it's really odd. You know, Stites is not the first guy I've heard coming from Tommy John surgery to where all of a sudden you can't pronate the ball like you did before. And it's something to do with the rehab or the surgery. And so he's had to come up with a little bit different off-speed pitch as far as the changeup goes.
Well, 5-pitch walk. And Owen Hull. Let's see. We had it at 3-1. I think now it's 3-1. On Owen Hull. With Schaffner now at second, and Stites dealing with 2-out activity. Pulled foul, and it's full on Hull. Mentioned how good Owen Hull has been with runners in scoring position with men on this year.
What's he had, like 478 with runners in scoring position? That's an unbelievable number.
Now he walks, and so just like the first inning, a couple 2-out base runners here for North Carolina, and Gavin Gallagher is coming up. So back-to-back 2-out walks issued by Patrick Stites. And Mr. Postseason, big game Gavin Gallagher. Singled up the middle to start the 2-out rally in the first. Breaking ball up to start from Stites. Gavin Gallagher was saying this week he can't really explain why he's been so prolific in the postseason in his career. He said he's stuck with the same routine, trusts his preparation, but said it's about staying calm in these moments, slowing down his heart rate and locking in.
Yeah, and it's about being there. The more you're there, I think the more you're able to relax a little bit, just let your natural abilities, your talents take over. That's kind of what Gallagher has been able to do.
Scott Forbes will tell you Gallagher gets better when the lights are brighter. Started here 2 years ago on a day like today, the Friday night game regional opener. He was a true freshman going up against Long Island University and had the major moment in that game. Walk-off grand slam in a 3-hit day. 3-0 on Gallagher here.
Well, Stites started to spray it around, and it's not like him. I mean, he came in, we touched on it, 22 walks and over 92 innings of work. The back-to-back walk to the 3-0 count.
Inside, just off the edge, not by a ton, but it misses in. And 3 straight walks have loaded the bases for North Carolina. Well, 2 quick outs in the inning, but then Jake Schaffner walked. Owen Hull ran it full and walked. And Gavin Gallagher just walked on 4 pitches to set the stage for Macon Winslow. First pitch swinging. This one flared to third and caught.
How about a broken aluminum bat? You don't see that every day.
That went helicoptering toward Kirkpatrick at third.
That is very, very rare right there.
Wow, I mean, it just sawed off right down the middle.
Exploded like a wooden bat.
It just split in half above the handle. How about that? It was a little over 2 months ago that Terrence Hill Jr. and VCU, the 11 seed, came from 19 points down. Hill made a step-back three with 15 seconds left in overtime to stun North Carolina. And we get this matchup here in the baseball regionals in Chapel Hill. And the new Carolina men's basketball head coach, Michael Malone, is in the building watching this one. Big time hire here in Chapel Hill. Coach of his pedigree from the NBA. Well, what a job by Phil Martelli Jr.'s squad. He said that win that they had against the Tar Heels, perfect microcosm of what VCU men's basketball was. He said resilient as much as any group as he's been around. And the VCU baseball team, they were playing against Dayton at that point that weekend. They were locked in, and some of those players have drawn parallels to what the men's basketball team at VCU did going into this one against North Carolina. Ryan Lynch going to work. He wipes his signs. Facing 8-9-1, starting with Alec Warden, the second baseman. And just missed from Lynch.
Yeah, Lynch bounced off like he had strike three. And that's about as close as it gets to. A little backdoor sinker, working it back. Did it come all the way back? Apparently not. Ooh.
Goes to a nasty slider, maybe his best yet for strikeout number 3.
That's really what we call tunneling right there. So you backdoor sinking fastball, then out of the same order slider. Instead of it going left to right, this one's going to take a quick left, right to left, and that is well done by Ryan Lynch. First pitch strikes for Ryan Lynch, 8 out of 9 now. That is a recipe for success.
Another strike to start out to the right fielder, Trent Adelman. Third year in the program, second year starter. Been solid with the bat these last 2 years. Adelman had a big swing in the A-10 title game against the University of Rhode Island on Sunday. Bottom of the 4th inning, VCU was up 3-zip, and Adelman crushed a 2-run homer to left. Got a hanging breaking ball, hit a laser over the scoreboard, and that helped VCU extend. 1-2 from Lynch. Fastball down, 2 balls and 2 strikes on Adelman. Ryan Lynch has the good stuff his first time through.
Yeah, you talk about consistency this year. 12 of his 15 starts, 3 earned runs or less. That's giving your team a chance just about every time you come up on the bump.
Couldn't get some chase there from Edelman. Scott Forbes made the decision to go with Ryan Lynch today, not Jason DeCaro. Here comes the 3-2. Edelman back to the mound, and Lynch stabs for out number 2.
That kills me when I see pitchers do that right there. I mean, you can hit the glove at 60 feet 6 inches wherever you want to throw it, but yet you get a comebacker and you got to fish it over there underhand. It's like, come on, man, just toss it over there.
That was a pretty long flip.
That's what I'm saying. He's not comfortable throwing to first base. That tells me that, because that was almost from the dirt of the mound that he flipped it over there. It was a good flip underhand, almost like he's turning 2 as a middle infielder.
And then a really good slider to start. Top day to Franco.
I played with some guys, though, that they couldn't play catch. Like, they get on the mound and throw the ball wherever they wanted to, but then they can't play catch with you at 60 or 70 feet.
If you're going to do one, you might as well do it off the mound.
I mean, that's a long flip right there.
It is. Got to deal with some shadows over there, too.
Maybe that's why he's keeping it low and flipping it over there. Maybe.
0-2. DeFranco pops it foul. Approaching 7 o'clock local time here in Chapel Hill. Perfect weather. Perfect. These teams had to wait around about an hour more than expected after the first game went 14 innings. It's outside at 97 again for Lynch.
He is holding that velo, man. 44 pitches in.
He's the hardest thrower on North Carolina's pitching staff. He has averaged 95 miles an hour with his heater this year. His 1-2. DeFranco rolls it left side. Cooper Nicholson cuts it off. Quick work. 1, 2, 3 for the second time out of the chute for Ryan Lynch. Looking the part on this Friday night. The real fun just getting started.
Run straight for the breakaway.
The celebration is on.
2 weeks from today, we get started in Omaha. Hey, how about these regional hosts who have been upset in the opening round, Ben?
Yeah, Southern Miss was an overall, number 9 national seed. Auburn, number 4, they went down. And UCLA, number 1 overall national seed. Team that's been number 1 way before the season started. Only team in baseball that did not lose a 3-game series all year long. And they go down in game 1 of their regional.
Eric Paulson leads off last of the third. UCLA had been playing with some fire. 51-6 entering the tournament, but close games recently, including in the Big Ten tournament. 1-1 from Patrick Stites. I mean, the Bruins won 3 games in the Big Ten tournament, held in Omaha. They had to walk off all 3 of them.
Wow. Of course, Rock Chalowski, the Bruins shortstop, expected to be, or projected to be, the #1 overall pick in the July draft coming up. White Sox have the first draft pick, I think. So
sure do.
He's supposed to be #1, but you never know how those things shake out, because sometimes you know how it works. Try to save a little bit of money on signing bonuses, and so he could fall.
Patrick Stites 1-2. And you know who's expected to go in the top 3, probably not going to get out of the top 3, is Georgia Tech's catcher Vaughn Lackey, who launched another home run today, part of 7 for the Jackets.
I want to see that kid play. I have not seen him play yet, but everything I hear from everybody, like, it's special. And it's special on both sides of the ball, too. Defensively, yes.
He's a guy who was not a big recruit coming out of high school, kind of late bloomer.
Just amazing how certain kids can just blow up and take off, you know.
Eric Paulson had a big 2-run double back in the first. Think about North Carolina. They're right there among the top clump of teams. Speaking of 5, a lot of people thought they could have been #4.
Yeah. Speaking of players that have blown up, how about Daniel Jackson, the catcher over at Georgia? Yeah. What a year he has had, too. Looking at big picture stuff. Could win the Triple Crown in the SEC, but only the 3rd time that's ever happened in the history of the Southeastern Conference. And the first ever catcher, if I saw right, to have 25 home runs and 25 stolen bases in the season. That's unheard of.
He's got a shot to go 30-30 like J.D. Drew.
And J.D. Drew is the only player ever in the history of college baseball to do 30-30, correct?
Yep. Georgia right now, by the way, they're up 13-0 on Long Island through 5.
Yeah, they're just peppering those trees out there in left field and left center field, I'm sure.
Paulson strikes out. First K for Stites. Hey, NCAA regional coverage for all 16 sites continues tomorrow here on ESPN Plus and the ESPN app. For more info, you can visit ncaa.com, the home for all NCAA championships. Looking live from the Field Hockey Stadium out to Boshemer Stadium. Cooper Nicholson tags one to left. A top spun laser by Cooper Nicholson to add on for the Heels.
That thing got out like now, like almost a line drive getting out of left field, straightaway left field. Cooper Nicholson's 16th long ball, his 48th RBI, and off to a tremendous day, a 2-for-2 day. Watch him just go down and get this pitch right here. Just kind of goes down and sticks his nose on that one and circles it, and just a line drive almost straight away left field.
110 miles an hour off the bat of Cooper Nicholson.
There's your collision.
As promised. So 4-0 as Nicholson goes deep. Told you this offense has been headed in the right direction. Another good one on Tyler Howe, who rolled the shortest first time. And he's down 0-2.
These are my favorite kind of offenses because they can beat you several different ways. You know, they've got teams out there that can hit the long ball, but then when they're not hitting the long ball, you run up against grade A pitching, it's hard to score runs. But this is the kind of offense that blow out of the ballpark every now and then, but they will bunt, they will hit and run, they'll do a lot of different things to beat you.
Beautiful breaking ball strikes out Tyler Howe. And 2 Ks in the inning for Patrick Stites. Yeah, Scott Forbes has said that recently. He said last week, a lot of people hadn't talked about North Carolina's offense all year. He said, I'm excited about it. And he was sort of saying what you just said to us yesterday, that he likes the variety in the lineup.
Yeah, I think those are kind of offenses that can beat you multiple ways. Those are the scariest ones for me. It almost feels like an offense, you know, back in say, pro ball back in the mid-'90s, where there was 2 or 3 boppers in the lineup that would swing away, but everybody else was going to value. They weren't going to strike out. They could bunt a little bit. They could steal some bases and figure out ways to put runs on the scoreboard, manufacturing runs from time to time. And I think that's where the big league game, in a lot of ways, is starting to shift back to that kind of baseball. I think the Tampa Bay Rays are a perfect example of that. Just saw them the other day, man. Everything about the analytical world that you think about, well, you got to hit it hard all the time. You got to hit a lot of home runs. It's okay to strike out. They don't strike out very much. They put balls in play. They shorten up. It's almost like a 2-strike approach is what Tampa Bay has. And that kind of goes against everything that in the analytical world of baseball says how you win ball games. And if you look at launch angles and bat pass, I was doing some deep diving on Tampa Bay. They have the lowest exit velocity out of any of the 30 major league teams, and they have the flattest bat path of any of the 30 major league teams. So they're doing it a little bit differently this year.
And still piling up wins.
Yes.
Meantime, 2 balls and 2 strikes on Colin Heineck, the Georgia State transfer behind the plate, who rolled to short with the second baseman Alec Warden. His first time in the second. Stites 2-2. Down and away, full count. The 3-2. Swing and a miss.
How about Stites punches out the side, huh?
All 3 sandwiched around the Nicholson home run. Scott Forbes joins us when we come back. You're watching the NCAA Baseball Regionals presented by Capital One. Carolina head coach Scott Forbes kind enough to join us. And Coach, we were just gushing about your offense and how many different ways you guys can do it. Well, what's impressed you the most with the offense this year, but especially like the last month?
Yeah, appreciate y'all having me on. Sorry I got my sunglasses on, but I'm staring straight into the daggum sun. Just 1 through 9. They know, hey, I just got to find a way to get to first base, got to extend the inning. In the first, we did a good job of that. Gavin found a base hit, as well as Macon. Went first to third, read a dirt ball, and then a big swing in the bat by Paulie, and a 2-out knock by Cooper Nicholson. And that's how we have to score. You know, we're not going to out-home run you most of the time, but we can score on you.
Well, I tell you what, Ryan Lynch, man, the first time for me seeing him, Coach, but I tell you what, it is a big-time power sinker. He's carrying that velo really good. He can backdoor that 2-seamer, front door it a little bit. Man, if he gets that slider going a little bit more consistently, he could be a real dude. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, there's no doubt, Ben. He's a dude, obviously. He started for us last year in the ACC Championship, the regionals, super regionals, and just a competitor. He's a pleasure to coach, man. Does everything right.
Scott, thank you.
Thank y'all.
Good luck, Coach.
Thank you.
Yeah, he's happy to see the sun. He'll gladly stare into it.
Yeah, said it's been a little bit cool here in Chapel Hill this year.
You get the good weather and you get the good stuff from Ryan Lynch on the mound. What a job by Scott Forbes. Year 6 for him as the head coach, taking over for Mike Fox. 25th year overall on staff. Originally showed up in 1999, and then this year in late March got a contract extension through 2031. That's what he was looking into.
You see why he's got his sunglasses on. Yeah, tough chore for him to follow somebody like Mike Fox, who had so much success here at North Carolina. But boy, has he answered the bell in a big way.
Michael Petit hits Chopper and Gavin Gallagher. And there's one away to start the 4th inning. And Mike Fox, 22 years as the head coach. Mike Fox arrived in the fall of 1974 as a true walk-on. Eventually made the JV baseball and basketball teams. Played in the College World Series and then came back as the head coach.
Wow.
Often found around these parts at this time of the year. Tig Lether takes 96 up after he struck out looking on 97 back in the first inning against Lynch. Two 2-0 to start out against Lether. This VCU team, meanwhile, somewhat similar to North Carolina in that the best pitching staff in their conference. And then the offense, middle of the pack in the A-10, fourth in runs per game. That was hit sharply at Gallagher. 113 off the bat, but merely out number 2.
Yeah, and the 5th ground ball out already by Ryan Lynch. And we talked about him, sinker slider guy. When he's right, he's creating a lot of those, a lot of ground balls.
He's been excellent so far.
And why not with this defense you got? I mean, as a pitcher, man, when you stay on the bump and you know the guys behind you can make the plays, it allows you to be a little more confident in challenging the strike zone and creating early contact. But that's the name of the game these days. Can you create early contact? There's a time that you want to strike out guys and you need to strike out guys. And there's his outs right there. 3 strikeouts, 6 ground balls, and only 2 fly balls. But when you know you got a defense behind you that can really play, it makes you be a little bit more aggressive in the strike zone.
Jacob Lee floats one into left off the end of the bat. Stayed on the slider, and the best hitter for VCU has a 2-out single in the 4th.
But you know what makes you even more aggressive as a pitcher? A 4-run lead. That never hurts either.
Pretty good recipe so far for UNC. Now Nick Flores, who grounded to third his first time. If you're North Carolina, you watched East Carolina and Tennessee play 14 innings earlier today, just rifling through pitchers. I know it's 55 pitches, it's 2 outs in the 4th inning, but if you could get a ton of length from Ryan Lynch today, and if you can hang on and win this, you'd feel great going into tomorrow night and the rest of this weekend.
To say it sets up well for North Carolina if they win this game would be an understatement. I mean, if you're them, you couldn't ask for anything more. The 2 teams have won, which you had to play whoever won. If you win your game, use just about everybody they had. You got to be feeling pretty good if you're North Carolina. You can win this ball game.
Long way to go. Top of the 4th, and 3-0 the count on Nick Flores. And a pesky VCU team. Piled up 37 wins this season. We told you the offense for VCU 4th in the league in runs per game. They don't strike out very much. One of the lowest strikeout offenses in the Atlantic 10. Their offense, like North Carolina, got better as this year went along. 4-pitch walk. So couple 2-out base runners for VCU, just like North Carolina's done it the first few innings. Sean Thompson, the head coach for VCU, was saying it was yesterday. Big reason for his team's improvement the last third of the season was how the offense came together. He said we kind of started to play to what he thought his offense was capable of as this year went.
Yeah, you hope as you coach and you try to peak for the postseason. I mean, starting in your conference tournament, because that was the only way that VCU was getting in the NCAA tournament, right? They had to win their conference tournament. So you hope you're playing your best. And clearly, VCU pitched it really, really well all year long. But that offense, as you mentioned, started to take hold. And we talked about it. I mean, they averaged, what, nearly 10 runs per game in their 6 games in the conference tournament. So you got to feel pretty good about where the offense is. And they're trying to climb right back in this one.
Nate Kirkpatrick in the box. He singled pull side sharply his first time. He goes first pitch swinging and floats one at Gavin Gallagher to end the inning. VCU threatens but leaves 2 against Ryan Lynch, who's been sturdy so far.
Welcome to Squeeze Play. All the highlights, all the big moments.
You got a chance to have some big-time fireworks.
6 to 8 games on the screen at one time.
You're going to be locked in for that.
The season on the line.
Hashtag Squeeze Play. Send us some tweets. Maybe we'll put you on the social wall.
The storybook season will continue. ESPN's the home for college baseball regionals and for around-the-clock multi-game coverage. You can scan that QR code bottom left, and ESPN Plus subscribers can access expanded coverage with Squeeze Play with Mike Rooney and Chris Burke, Chris Budden and Matt Schick leading the way from Bristol, keeping tabs on everything going on around the country. It is a beautiful way to consume this wonderful time of the year. And thanks for being with us, too. Ben McDonald, Mike Monaco with you, our whole crew behind the scenes. Carter French leads off against Patrick Stites. 9-1 in 2 last of the 4th. Patrick Stites is the ace for VCU, who again had the best pitching staff in the A-10 this year. Led the league in ERA by far.
Big inning for him, too, because he's kind of weathered the storm a little bit.
He allows a leadoff single to French, and now, to your point, Ben, the lineup turns over third time through.
Yeah, start going third time through, it gets a little bit more difficult.
So French is on for Jake Schaffner. Schaffner's third AB, a roller back to Stites, and then a walk in the second for one of the best shortstops in college baseball. Schaffner a roller at first and foul at Quinn Mayer. Think about how good some of the shortstops we've had this year. Rock Chalowski, you mentioned earlier, of UCLA. This is D1 baseball's top 5 at the position. Carson Kurse has had a breakout season at Georgia Tech. He has rocketed up draft boards.
Tyler Bell over at Kentucky.
They got a nice win today against Wake Forest as a 3 seed who got into the tournament.
Yeah, probably one of the last 4 teams in Kentucky, I would think. Nick Mingione.
A team that lost 8 of 10 SEC
I saw
series.
that. Only won 2 SEC series all year long. But the RPI was good. And that's kind of what, you know, you get around 30 in the RPI, man. Strength of schedule certainly helped out Kentucky. North Carolina was, what, number 4 in the RPI.
Schaffner drops down a bunt, and it is beautiful to third. 2 on for the Heels in the 4th.
That's kind of what I'm talking about from North Carolina. They find different ways to beat you. And you couldn't have stood at home plate and just rolled this ball any better than what Schaffner did. Watch him drop this down. Last second, perfect angle with the bat, and just rolls it right down the third base line. So now first and second, and nobody out here in the bottom of the 4th for North Carolina.
And Schaffner can do it in a lot of different ways. And here comes the pitching coach, JoJo Howie, to talk things over. Told you Sean Thompson is a former pitcher at VCU. He was teammates with JoJo Howie. They were on the 2015 VCU Super Regional team. And between Howie and the head coach Sean Thompson, these 2 guys pitched a lot of huge innings through the years for VCU.
You look at Sean Thompson, 27 wins, second most in VCU history, 300 innings pitched, 249 strikeouts for him.
And there's activity for those guys in the bullpen. Dawson Newman, who's turned into one of their biggest arms, sophomore left-hander. Yeah, how about a 3.30 ERA lifetime for Sean Thompson, and for JoJo Howie, a 2.95.
Yeah.
And JoJo Howie was saying to us, it's real special to do this with Sean Thompson. He says he feels honored to do it at his alma mater, and he left being a JUCO head coach to be the VCU pitching coach because he told us on the scouting scale, he said he's got 80 grade trust in the guy on the right of your screen, Sean Thompson.
Well, when those two guys talk about pitching, you'd be wise to listen.
Thompson, a righty. JoJo Howie was a crafty lefty. Thompson got the win in the biggest win in program history, 2015, when he was a freshman to beat Dallas Baptist and reach the program's only super regional. Trouble though here for VCU pitching bottom of the fourth, Owen Hull.
Yeah, you wonder how good Stites would be, how consistent he could be. I mean, you talk about the A-10 tournament. He pitched game 1 on the 20th of May, and then he took 1 day off through 64 pitches. Then he took 1 day off and in relief through 45 pitches. That's probably something he hadn't done a lot of this year, and so sometimes it's a little bit difficult to bounce back from that the way you feel.
Yeah, I mean, the Wednesday start against Davidson, to your point, in the tourney opener, and then Friday, you got to stay alive. Friday night, he came on in relief against a really good St. Joe's team with 3 2/3.
And threw 45 pitches in that one, too. And sometimes it feels pretty good while you're doing it. You don't have a problem, but okay, what's the next start feel like? What's the start after that feel like from time to time? But hey, they had to do what they had to do to get to where they are today. You had to run your best out there.
1-2. Hull tugs it to first.
That's nice.
And that is beautifully done by Quinn Mayer to get 2.
That was a big time play right there by Quinn Mayer. Ball took him right to the bag, and that's where he simply steps on the bag, and then he's got to make a tough throw here. And right over the top, he goes with that throw, and a nice tag by the shortstop, DeFranco. And boy, Patrick Stites certainly appreciates that, and he needed that in a big way. Now he's just 1 out away from getting out of this 4th inning.
And now Gavin Gallagher. That's for the 3rd time. He's singled, scored, and walked. That's what you expect this time of year from Gavin Gallagher. Stites up and over 70 pitches now. Well, that looks like a tight little cutter, maybe. Patrick Stites trying to keep this game right where it is. Keep VCU within shouting distance of North Carolina. Just down, ball 4, and Gavin Gallagher's on for the 3rd time in this game. His 2nd walk against Stites. So runners at the corners, and now to Carolina's cleanup hitter, Macon Winslow.
This very well could be the last batter, too, for Stites, if he doesn't get him. Because you got Paulson on deck, who's a left-hander. You got a lefty in the bullpen starting to warm up.
And Dawson Newman is ready. And again, 3rd time through for Stites. Winslow is singled and lined out to 3rd. Oh, cutter misses for ball 1. Winslow DHing today. He has shared the catching duties with Colin Heineck, who combined have taken over for Luke Stevenson, who was a top 40 draft pick last year after his sophomore season. 2-0 on Macon Winslow, and Ty Lethert will visit Patrick Stites. It's been a great career for Stites. A couple years of junior college ball at Central Arizona, where he was a national champion.
National champion his freshman year, if I'm not mistaken.
And then 2 good years at Kansas when he was healthy, but battled the Tommy John. Made it back so quickly from TJ to be ready for the start of last year. His shoulder barked last season, and then he's come back this year after rehabbing that and been a horse for VCU. 7 straight out of the zone from Stites.
Yeah, just kind of running on fumes, what it looks like to me. And this is not the time you want to give in either.
He got a lefty on deck. Mentioned the lefty Dawson Newman in the bullpen, so very well could be it here for Stites.
Yeah, 5 of the next 7 batters for North Carolina after this one will be left-handers, and that's going to be the big pocket, obviously, for the left-hander in the bullpen.
(3-1). Winslow gets under it, pops it up on the infield with Nate Kirkpatrick in to end the inning. Stites digs deep, and he leaves him at the corners in the 4th. We talk with his head coach, Sean Thompson, right after this. Back in Chapel Hill, and VCU head coach Sean Thompson is kind enough to join us. Coach Patrick Stites, he pitched a couple of times for you in the conference tournament. He digs deep right there. What have you seen from your ace here tonight?
Yeah, I think UNC's done a great job off him. The first inning was huge, obviously, with 2 outs. They got something going, and I've been proud of him just sticking with it right there, minimizing damage, keeping it a baseball game, and giving us a chance to get back in it.
Coach, y'all been incredible. What a turnaround year it's been for you guys. 17 wins last year, 37. That's plus 20, man. What was the key for your team to have that kind of success on a 20-game improvement year to year?
Yeah, it's the guys in the dugout. It starts with good people. They've been great people all year. They've been a blast to work with. They're going to keep competing and fighting here. I have no doubt about that. But they're just a joy to work with. When you got good people, it's easy to show up to the field every day.
Sean, thanks for doing this. Good luck the rest of the way.
Yep.
Good luck, Coach.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
Great.
It was the former pitching coach. He got promoted to head coach. Bradley LaCroix had a brief stint, couple of years as the head coach at VCU, and then he left to take the Liberty job after he had taken it because Sean Stifler, longtime VCU head coach, had left to go to Notre Dame to replace Link Jarrett. So they had a lot of head coaching turnover here these last few years. Year 1, the struggles you mentioned, and then plus 20 in the win column. They're down by 4 as we hit the 5th inning. 7, 8, and 9 starting with Quinn Mayer, who flew out to center his first time. Faces Ryan Lynch, just over 60 pitches. On the ground to first, that Eric Paulson to the bank himself for the first out. What's impressed you most about Ryan Lynch so far, Ben?
I think just his, first of all, I didn't think the fastball velocity was going to be what it was, but I'm impressed with not just the velocity, I'm impressed with the 2-seam movement and how much that ball actually moves horizontally too. And I do feel like, he's been getting ahead. He's attacking hitters. 16 hitters he's faced so far. 12 of 16 he's thrown a first pitch strike, and that is a recipe for success again, putting hitters on the defense right away. And I think the slider for me has just kind of been okay, but I could see a big jump for this young man. I mean, once he figures out the slider piece of it, he gets a little bit more consistent with the slider and then develops a real third pitch. And he will throw an occasional changeup. But I think we're looking at a big leaguer right here. I think we're looking at a kid because of the arm strength that he has, and he'll continue to get better. He develops and continues to develop both that slider and changeup. It's going to be a nice draft pick. There's no doubt about that. And is he draft eligible this year?
Yes.
Where's he projected right now?
I mean, there's so much to like about him. But up to 99 in this game.
He's a little bit of a project because, you know, in pro ball, you want to see him develop, you know, the secondary stuff a little bit more. But certainly, if I'm a GM of a club, I'm looking at this kid. I love the body size, first of all. And I think, okay, there's a big upside here. Like, I think he can really take another step or two forward.
Kylie's got him 107th on his board.
So that puts you safely in the 3rd round is kind of where that puts you right now. And, of course, you'll have a lot of leverage, too, because obviously being a draft-eligible sophomore, you can set your number where you want it, and you can always pivot and come back to school if you choose to do that as well.
This one popped up foul. Full count on Alec Worden. And we got some real good talented prospects here. These are the top 6 prospects on Kylie's board playing in this regional.
So both Coons at Tennessee and Lynch for North Carolina draftable sophomores. Correct. Okay.
And then juniors the rest of the way with Ethan Norby, who we saw earlier. Henry Ford, who had a dramatic 9th inning home run.
Boy, I like Ethan Norby, man. If he can't make it as a starter, you could plug him in at the back end of a bullpen and say, hey, here's your 2 pitches. Go make some noise with him. And boy, can he make some noise, too.
Worden gets on. It's the 2nd walk issued by Ryan Lynch. It's on the last 4 batters. And so 1 out base runner for VCU.
See where Arkansas is down early 3-1.
How about that? Arkansas, a 2 seed, though they were a top 15 team in the top 25 polls. Losing to Missouri State bottom of the 4th inning in Lawrence, Kansas. Well, comebacker from Trent Adelman. Gallagher's got hurt, and he handled it nicely for out number 2.
Big time play by Gallagher right there. His internal clock, he knew just how much time he had to make the throw over at first base. Had to avoid the runner going from 1st to 2nd. See where he's in the shift. He has to come a long way, but the internal clock works really good. Knew he had plenty of time. Didn't get sped up at all.
Some of the advanced metrics which we have defensively in college nowadays really favored Gavin Gallagher. Strike 1 to Dante DeFranco. He thought it was off. A leadoff man and shortstop who has grounded out twice, once to 2nd and once to 3rd. Two outs in the 5th for Ryan Lynch. In on the hands, man. Look at that thing just take off on righties.
That's a weapon. That is a real weapon. And it's a gift. Like throwing hard can be a gift too. The movement on a baseball can be a gift as well. Now we got a lot of different grips and the seam shifted wake thing and all those kind of things that we know now with different grips and tweaking it a little bit with these Edgerton cameras. You can make the ball move a little bit more. That's the advantage that pitchers have today over hitters.
On the ground at first, that Paulson to the bag himself, and 3 ground ball outs for Ryan Lynch, who is locked in.
here is our bracket for the Chapel Hill Regional. The winner of this game gets ECU tomorrow, 5 o'clock Eastern Time. The loser will take on Tennessee at noon tomorrow. Not as good as you, Mikey, but got it done anyway.
I thought that was pretty good. We were up and moving around here in the press box after 4 hours and 31 minutes in the first game of the day.
Well, Stites' day is complete. He goes 4 innings, 7 hits, gives up 4 runs, walks 4, and strikes out 3. He'll give way to the freshman, Dawson Newman, out of Chesapeake, Virginia, making his 24th appearance of the year. Man, has he been good. How about that ERA? 2.83 ERA. Less hits than innings pitched, and a better than a strikeout per inning as well for the freshman left-hander. Pretty good pocket for him right here. 5 of the next 7 batters he will face will be from the left side.
Perfect spot for the Coastal Carolina transfer, who was 4th in the Atlantic 10 in ERA. Would Kevin Brown have let you take one?
No way.
Break?
No. Kevin likes to hog here. I can't even play with the reads. They give me like 1 read a game when a pitcher comes in.
They got to let you cook, as the kids say.
That's right.
Patrick Stites departs, emptied the tank after pitching Wednesday and Friday in the conference tournament, a season in which he's thrown nearly 100 innings.
Yeah, I tell you what, when he got by the first inning, and again, the first inning he got the first 2 outs really quick, and then 4 consecutive base hits. They put a 3-spot in his North Carolina. But after that, man, you look at the next 3 innings, and he only gave up 1 run, a solo home run, so he settled in pretty good.
And now Newman takes over. Hello, Newman to start. To Eric Paulson, who had the 2-run double back in the first.
Newman fastball leads the way, then the slider, an occasional changeup. Pretty much a 2-pitch mix.
Atlantic 10 all-rookie team. Top 4 in the league in ERA. Guy who has filled a role as a Sunday starter at times for VCU. 2-1 left on left with Paulson. How about the work that Newman did in the conference tournament? He made 4 appearances, part of their 6 games in 5 days.
So he appeared in 4 of the 6 games.
Wednesday came on in relief for 3 innings of shutout ball. Thursday faced 3 batters. Saturday an inning and 2/3, 26 pitches. Sunday came on early in relief, 3 innings of shutout work in the title game. That was after on Saturday he had taken a line drive off his left shoulder, so they took him out. They didn't know what the situation was. Well, he was good to bounce back the next day and come on early. Like we said, the 2nd inning he entered and gave him 50 pitches.
That's rubber arming it right there.
No chase from Eric Paulson, who gets aboard to begin the bottom of the 5th for Cooper Nicholson, who top spun one out of here his last time in the 3rd.
Yeah, it almost looked like a Tiger Woods 2-iron getting out of here is what it looked like. It never got more than about 30 feet off the ground, just right into the net. It went a 2-for-2 day for him. His 16th long ball, 48 RBIs for Cooper Nicholson.
The JUCO 3rd baseman. That's with nobody out. First pitch, breaking ball misses to start. Nicholson again, he's from Iowa. He's from West Des Moines. 2 hours away from Omaha. He said North Carolina had a background of winning, and I've always dreamt of playing in Omaha.
Well, he's going to get his shot. The Hills look like a complete team to me, and the numbers showed it going in.
It's just a well-rounded, steady team.
Well, you mentioned it earlier. It's an older team, too. There's 1 freshman sprinkled in there, but a lot of juniors and seniors. And that seems to be the recipe for success in today's game is older players, more mature players, players that have been around a little bit.
And, boy, they had to replace a lot in their lineup, too. The only returning starter from the lineup that's in there today is Gavin Gallagher.
Yeah, the portal obviously has changed all of that. When you lose a lot of guys, it used to be, well, there's going to be a down year or 2 for your program until you kind of rebuilt it in some ways. But now You can go right into the portal and you get these plug-and-play players. You know, the downside of that is your high school seniors coming out, man. Like, you got to be a real dude to get a playing time in a Power 4 conference now. You got to be a real guy because a lot of these coaches are going towards the older players that maybe were at mid-majors and played a couple years. You can just go grab them and kind of plug them in. That's what North Carolina did.
And just the one freshman starter in Tyler Howe batting the 7th spot starting in left field for Scott Forbes' team. It's a very homegrown pitching staff, meanwhile.
Yeah, to me, it's got to be a perfect blend of your incoming freshmen. You develop those guys, you keep them in your program, and then you go plug in the missing pieces with the portal.
A strikeout for Dawson Newman, and there's one away here in the last of the 5th. So 1-on-1 out, now to the aforementioned Tyler Howe. He made a great catch in the conference tournament in Charlotte last weekend. Banged up his right hand in the process, but no worse for the wear. This guy was hitting line drives all over the place at the conference tournament last week. Scott Forbes said to us yesterday, man, he didn't have anything to show for it for the most part. Said his batting average should be a whole lot higher than it has been. Said it is very misleading for Tyler Howe.
Yeah, there's always a few guys that have bad luck, both pitching and hitting, and some guys that have good luck as well. But typically over time, that tends to even out a little bit.
2-1. Well, you see the scores top right. Texas A&M came from behind against Lamar. I believe it was 5-3 earlier in that game. And the Aggies got the job done in comeback fashion.
Yeah, I saw where Will Davis, the head coach at Lamar, will take the Houston job now.
Oh, yeah, is that so?
Yeah, moving over to Houston.
And Arkansas still trailing in Lawrence. Newman's 2-2. Outtakes, or really good takes from this guy. Just quality ABs as a rookie.
Most important thing for hitters, man, do you understand the strike zone? And it's about attacking balls over the white part of the plate. It's a lot easier said than done.
He skies this one center field, well hit, but Michael Petit circles for out number 2. Any hitters, Ben, that you went up against that stand out to you in that way? Guys that just had such good understanding of the zone that really frustrated you?
Wade Boggs, Paul Molitor, players like, I mean, you're talking about Hall of Famers too. But I mean, that's why one reason why they were Hall of Famers is because they never expanded the zone and made you get the ball over the white part of the plate. To me, it's the most important thing about hitting is understanding their strike zone. And in today's game, it's even tougher because pitchers, I mean, you look at the big league average. The average big league hitter today is hitting 239.
Wow.
That's it. Pitchers just absolutely dominating the game at the big league level. Not so much at the college level, though.
Colin Heineck flies out 2 to center at Petit, and the inning's over. A 0 on the board on in relief for Dawson Newman. champions at the Men's College World Series, and Big Ben, so much flavor from the SEC.
Yeah, SEC has absolutely dominated the College World Series in recent years. 6 in a row, 7 of 8, 11 out of the last 16. If you want to take it further than that, how about 17 of the last 35 years the SEC has won the College World Series?
It's been the last 10 Men's College World Series, 7 titles for the SEC, and 13 of the finalists. What do you think this year? You got UCLA as the 1, but they already lost today. Georgia Tech is the 2, Georgia as the 3, Auburn the 4, a loser today.
Yes.
And then North Carolina the 5. That feels like the top tier.
Yeah, and then when I look around college baseball, it feels like it's been UCLA, Georgia Tech, and Georgia are the 3. Now, I wouldn't take Texas out of that mix either. Texas is a very complete team that can do a little bit of everything as well. But, man, Georgia Tech, on paper, I have not seen them in person yet, but on paper, it's impressive. Like, it's very loud offensively, a really solid pitching staff as well. And I wouldn't count. I mean, I know UCLA lost game 1, but if they came back out of the regionals, I would not be shocked at all because they have the kind of pitching staff. It's deep enough to come through the losers bracket.
Man, they had a 3.31 ERA this season. North Carolina, one of the best staffs in the sport, too. Ryan Lynch in the 6th inning against Michael Petit. And they say that fouled off his bat. So 2-2. I'm not certain Petit agrees with it. Let's see. Did it clip his bat here?
It didn't look like it did, but apparently the home plate umpire heard something.
Because otherwise, I think that's a backup ball, and I think it would be 3-1. It's a real dangerous bat. Michael Petit, 2nd on the team in OPS. JUCO transfer out of Miami-Dade. Sean Thompson told us extremely dynamic player and athlete. This guy can do some things on the field that very few can in the A-10. Petit had a home run earlier this year that he hit 461 feet against Fordham. Absolutely smashed to Fordham's football stadium. Full count here against Lynch. Petit's got the lowest chase rate on the VCU team among their regulars, and he impacts the baseball. 3-2. And he gets aboard to start the 6th inning for the Rams.
And that's the first time the Rams have got the leadoff batter of an inning on. That's how good Ryan Lynch has been. And that's a really good take by Petit right there. Breaking ball just to the outside edge, lays off of it.
And if it's going to happen, it might be go time right here for VCU. 3rd time through the order, pitch count at 80, heart of the lineup.
Feels like the time of the game that VCU has got to make a little bit of noise here.
Ty Lethert is the batter in the 3 spot. He struck out looking on 97, but he ran it full in that 1st inning. And then a ground out that came off his bat at 113 miles an hour to 2nd in the 4th. It's slider to come back with a strike from Ryan Lynch.
Well, and Scott Forbes would love to get Ryan Lynch through 6 innings of work. He's at 82 pitches now.
Lethert skies this one to deep right. Carter French circles toward the line for the 1st down. That was hit hard, but skied, and Lethert just missed it. Yeah, 83 pitches. Boy, if you get through this quickly, I think we'll see Lynch come back for the 7th. Scott Forbes is old school. But a big spot here. Jacob Lee is the cleanup hitter. 1 for 2 with a single so far. One of the best bats in the A-10, who somewhat laughably was not named to an all-conference team. That is unfathomable for the guy that is 3rd in the league in OPS. Jacob Lee, last year freshman All-American, A-10 Rookie of the Year, 2nd team All-Conference. Lee, the fastest player in program history to reach 30 home runs. Up high to start. Lynch, who had been so good with first pitch strikes. He's fallen behind a couple times here in the 6th.
Yeah, but typically he is just a ground ball away from turning 2.
2-0 on Lee.
Still carrying that velo though, 96, but starting to scatter it just a little bit.
Nearly got away from Lynch on the throw to Paulson. Keeping tabs on Petit, who's got a team-high 22 bags this year. Lynch is 2-0. Fouled away, 2-1. Jacob Lee was a top 200 recruit in his class, according to Perfect Game. Has delivered on all the promise in 2 years in Richmond. 2-1. Up and in, 3-1. And so now the bullpen is stirring. And Walker McDuffie, the sophomore star reliever, is up and loosening. Scott Forbes is not going to mess around. 3-1. That's a strike, top of the zone, full count.
And I mean, right at the top of the zone, too. You see the ball starting to get elevated a little bit for Ryan Lynch, and the reason why it's elevated, he's trying to be really quick to home plate, because you got to go over a guy over at first base, and Petit, 22 and 24 in stolen bases.
3-2. Lee takes, and that's called a ball. Throw down to second, but it was ball 4. Boy, it was a borderline pitch. I thought it was strike 3. You see, Gavin Gallagher cannot believe it. Sometimes when a runner's on the move, that can change the view of the strike zone. Wow.
I didn't think Heineck came up early at all. I thought he gave the home plate umpire, Manny Gonzalez, a chance to see that. But that ball looked like a strike to me. A little backdoor two-seam fastball that looked like it caught the outside edge. Watch this ball come back right at the last second. I mean, that's right on the outside corner. Would have been a strike him out and throw him out, but instead it's a first and second situation now with just 1 out.
And so you get the tying run to the on-deck circle here in the 6th inning. You've got a couple walks. You just heard some fans here saying a little bit of pressure on North Carolina and Ryan Lynch.
Yeah. Ryan Lynch thought he made the perfect pitch, and it looked like the perfect pitch to me. But a chance maybe VCU catches a break here. Let's see what they can do with it.
So we'll get a mound visit here from Brian Gaines, 7th year on the job as the pitching coach. 11 seasons in total on staff. Previously the volunteer assistant coach for former Tar Heel pitcher. Was an awesome leader in this program. Endured a couple different Tommy John surgeries in his time. We had fun chatting with him yesterday. Guy who's done a marvelous job with this program. And he was telling us how the voice in their pitch comm devices telling them every pitch to throw is that of none other than legendary basketball coach Roy Williams.
That is so good, isn't it? Well, I think the message to Lynch was, listen, let's get back to doing what you do best, and that's throwing strike 1. Let's try to get the ball down in the zone and try to create you a ground ball. We got a great defense behind you. Let's see if we can roll a ground ball and roll 2 and get off the field here.
Lynch about to throw his 90th pitch against Nick Flores, a doubles machine. First pitch, strike 1. Right back onto the edge for Ryan Lynch, who had a little bit of a longer look back home. Flores, a 2nd-year starter. Very good bat to ball inside the zone. That's up high, lays off, a ball and a strike. Sean Thompson told us Nick Flores probably doesn't get enough credit for as good a player he's been the last 2 years. He plays hard, he's old school, and he is a quality at bat when you need it. Like right here. 2-1 on him.
Boy, he's got the count in his favor now, does Flores. It just feels like if VCU is going to climb back in this one, it's going to happen now.
Depending on how this goes, this could be last batter territory for Ryan Lynch. Two-one. On the ground at third. Nicholson to the bag. How do you do, Ryan Lynch?
There's your ground ball. And I'm sure that's what the message was, is, hey, let's try to create a ground ball and get off the field. And I tell you what, Cooper Nicholson over at third base, the ball took him directly to the bag. A little two-hopper right here. And watch Nicholson move to the glove side, steps on third, across the diamond he goes, and just a boring throw over to first. The heels are off the field with a little double play and up 4-0.
Back in Chapel Hill on a beautiful Friday night. And North Carolina's up 4-0 as we go to the bottom of the sixth. They're trying to get to the 1-0 game tomorrow night against resilient East Carolina, who won in 14 innings earlier today against 2-seed Tennessee.
Man, what a game that was.
We talked to Braden Burris, one of the top players for ECU. Their second baseman, their three-hitter. He said, Coach told him after the game, you just got to get off your feet right now. After 14 innings baking in the sun. Carter French leads off against Austin Newman.
Recovery.
Yes.
Yeah, you feel for Tennessee, man. Up and down, a very emotional game. You got to turn right around tomorrow and play the noon game.
And in a position to throw, Tegan Coons.
Yeah, and I'm guessing it'll be Coons. I mean, I don't know who else it would be for Tennessee at this point.
Two-one. Misses to Carter French.
Pretty good pitch.
3-1, yeah.
Pretty good pitch right there.
That misses, and French gets aboard. Second time that Carter French has been on. Former walk-on, who's now a senior. He's out of Tampa. He had Ivy League interest to play wide receiver, and he's headed off to med school. They call him Dr. French. So the doctor's on.
That is the 6th walk already for North Carolina.
It sets the table as the lineup turns over, 4th time through. Jake Schaffner, who has one of those walks back in the 2nd. Then he had a perfect bunt single, the third base line in the 4th. Schaffner's a former hockey player. Says hockey was his first love, much like Ben McDonald.
I like me a hockey game every now and then.
I meant to bring you a puck. I left it at home.
You know, just for you.
What do you got? As he goes through his bag. Oh!
I just happen to have you a hockey puck. They gave me that in Chicago last year.
I can't imagine
The
why.
next day, matter of fact, I had a hockey mask waiting on me. I had a stick and a puck. The only thing I could fit in my bag was the puck, so I took that with me.
I told our NHL family at ESPN I'd convert you this weekend.
I've actually been to a few hockey games. I don't.
Here's the puck.
I don't watch a lot of hockey, but I have been to a couple hockey games.
Can you skate?
No, I cannot skate.
Okay.
I've tried it twice, and both times I spent more time on my back than I did on my skates. So I have a lot of respect for those guys. Those guys are athletes in a big way.
I told John Butchergrass I would work on you this weekend for your
I've heard that name before, and they asked me when I went on a podcast who that was, and I said, I have no idea who that is.
Bucci, Maine.
But they told me he was a big hockey guy.
One of our best and brightest at the worldwide leader. Anyway, thank you for the puck. I will return
I use it as a paperweight when the wind blows, but we've had perfect weather, so I hadn't needed it.
The 1-2. Schaffner fights it foul. We've needed some paperweights in our time.
Oh, yes.
Omaha? How about the Omaha studio setup last year? Remember that?
Oh my God.
Before the finals?
Needed a 5-gallon bucket is what we needed for that.
1-2. Schaffner sprays it foul. Yeah, good Wisconsin player, Jake Schaffner. He's really turned things around. Went to North Dakota State. That was his only offer. Very productive 2 years there. 2 times first team All Summit League. Steady climb offensively each of his 3 collegiate seasons. Scott Forbes said to us yesterday, he's got makeup out the wazoo. Sharply at Warden. DeFranco's turn. In time for 2 as Mayer stayed on the bag.
That's a nice turn right there. Warden over at second base, a really quick feed over to DeFranco, and let DeFranco take care of the rest from there. Watch this. Has to move a little bit to this glove side, but a perfect feed. And let Franco take care of the rest. A little 4-6-3 double play.
And yeah, stayed on the bag. Mayer's good over there defensively. Finishing touches on that 4-6-3. Now Owen Hull with the bases empty. Line out to second, a walk in the second, and then a 3-6 double play that Quinn Mayer started in the 4th. Inside 2-0 from Dawson Newman. Holt takes a strike, 2-1. Newman working here in postseason baseball again. Spent last year at Coastal Carolina. Just 1 appearance for him, speaking of Omaha, 2/3 of an inning, and then transferred in to VCU, back to his home state for the native of Chesapeake, Virginia. Full count on Hull. Dawson Newman's 3-2. Yanked it just outside. And Owen Hull draws his second walk and the second of the inning.
Seventh walk collected by North Carolina. So more walks than strikeouts. And that's kind of what they do. Very good understanding of the strike zone.
And yet, still just a 4-run lead. And 3 runs in the first. They added 1 in the third, and otherwise haven't punched any more insurance across.
Yeah, VCU just kind of hanging around, man. Hanging around.
Gavin Gallagher, the batter. He's been aboard all 3 times. Single and a run scored in the first, and then walks in each of his last 2 trips. And outside the start as Gallagher just locks in this time of the year. Check out his last 2 NCAA regionals, both times here in Chapel Hill.
Man, look at the OPS, huh?
Back-to-back, the most outstanding player. Comebacker at Newman. He'll go underhand flip about the favor. And the inning is over. So VCU hangs around. It's 4-zip UNC. Earlier today, Walker Barron launched a go-ahead solo home run in the 14th inning as ECU put up 4 runs in the 14th to take down 2-seed Tennessee in an epic. They advance to tomorrow night, the 1-0 game. Ben, you do the bracket, so why don't you tell us what we got?
Well, that's what you got. I mean, the winner of this game will take on ECU at 5 o'clock Eastern time. The loser will take on the Vols at noon tomorrow in an elimination game. Win or go home in game 1 tomorrow.
And as we go to the 7th, here in game 2 of the day, Ryan Lynch still out there, 90-plus pitches after he got that huge double play ball, and he had wobbled a little bit. 20 pitch, 6th inning, only 9 strikes, a couple of walks, but stabilized.
Did what he did best when he got in trouble, and he kept the ball down in his own. He created a perfect ground ball over to third base, and Nicholson took it, stepped on the bag, across the diamond he went. Now Lynch has been up to 107 pitches. That's his season high. That was against Duke back on April the 24th.
Nick Kirkpatrick pops this one up at short. Jake Schaffner for the first down in the 7th. NCAA regional coverage for all 16 sites continues tomorrow here on ESPN Plus and the app. And for more info, you can go to ncaa.com, the home for all NCAA championships. ECU fans, well, it's only an hour 49 minutes from Greenville to here in Chapel Hill, and hanging around to see who they're going to play tomorrow. What a job by them earlier today, man.
I tell you what, that was a heck of a game. That's one of the best games I've seen in a while. You talk about back and forth it went. Got some Vols fans still hanging around.
Man, and Josh Helander pushed a lot of the right buttons. But Tennessee comes out on the losing end. Quinn Mayer bats here. He's 0 for 2. Fly out to center and a ground out to first. Hot shot foul from the native of Colorado Springs, Richard Jr. 3 years of JUCO ball, where last year he was a Gold Glove winner. Sean Thompson told us Quinn Mayer has changed a lot of games for them defensively, and then has battled offensively.
Yeah, the D1 JUCO World Series is going on right now. Should be getting close to getting to the finals, I would think.
Yeah. That is some pure baseball.
There's some talent, man. There is some big-time talent in junior college ball.
We were talking with JoJo Howie yesterday about when they faced Jacob Mizorowski, just pouring in 101.
Can you imagine? That dude's not human, man. And look, JUCO ball for me is only going to get better because of roster limitations that are coming. You got to think about it. I mean, most teams can carry 40 right now, but it goes down to what, 35, I think it is. And so that's going to be 5 more players times 300 teams in D1. It's going to have to find somewhere else to play, and that means junior college ball is going to be the route for a lot of them. And we're seeing that already because of the transfer portal. I think it's pushing a lot of your high school seniors that maybe can't get on the field and develop at the D1 level. They're going to junior college ball. They're getting their feet wet. They're getting their reps under their belt. And then if your ability speaks for itself, then you transfer up to the D1 game.
2-2. Maurer strikes out. Handcuffed by Ryan Lynch for the second out in the 7th.
Well, that's that front door two-seamer right there. And you see it out of the hand, and you think it's a ball. And it is a ball out of the hand, but when it comes back, this is kind of an emergency hack right here. Watch that ball come back. That's what you call swords up right there.
103 pitches deep. K number 4 for Ryan Lynch. And now faces Alec Warden in the 8th spot for VCU. A strikeout and a walk so far. How about this effort from Ryan Lynch, carrying 97 on pitch 104.
I mean, the big fella is simply just emptying the tank. He knows this is his last inning. And so whatever he's got left, man, he's going to step on the gas and give you everything he's got. And you can hear him, man. He's grunting now. 96, 97 here in the 7th inning. 105 pitches deep, and this is some old school stuff here.
One and 2 from Ryan Lynch. He's had some great outings this season. He went 7 against Duke. He went 8 against Cal, but this is as good as Ryan Lynch has been all season.
This has been gutsy. I'm talking about gutsy by him.
The big righty's 1-2. No chase there from Alec Warden. He's been a horse in the Carolina rotation this year. Got the game 1 start to kick off this regional and has lived up to it. Ryan Lynch's 2-2. And missed. 96 to cap the 7th. And a gem from Ryan Lynch.
Boy, that's what you call getting it done right there. Retired the last 4 batters and the last 2 by strikeouts. 7 innings of work for Ryan Lynch. You can't do much better than that.
Tonight's Capital One rewarding performance. Ryan Lynch just awesome over 7 shutout.
Unbelievable. I mean, he did what he did best. He created a lot of ground balls through that front door two-seamer. The slider was really good from time to time. And how about this? 7 innings of work in game 1 for North Carolina in a regional. Only 2 hits, no runs, 4 walks, 5 punch out, and a career high high in pitches to 108 pitches and more. You couldn't order anything more. If you're Scott Forbes, that's exactly what you wanted.
Macon Winslow serves one to deep right, but Trent Adelman with room. All smiles for Ryan Lynch. Big-time sophomore with a big-time performance and a handshake from Scott Forbes. Career-high 108 pitches.
That's what I call getting it done. That is getting it done in a big moment.
And now here's the thing for North Carolina. They haven't been able to add on. Their last run was in the 3rd inning. So you probably still go to Walker McDuffie here.
I think you still got to go to a leverage reliever. Now, obviously, if North Carolina finds a way to score a couple of runs here, you could see a different reliever. But just being up by 4 runs, it feels like a leverage guy's coming in for North Carolina. You can't take a chance here.
Eric Paulson drove in 2 back in the first. 2-run double. 4 hits in the 1st inning for UNC and only 3 hits since. And it is Walker McDuffie still readying to come on. Again, Scott Forbes is old school, and he trusts his best arms. And he will ride those guys and get big-time performance after big-time performance from the very best on this staff.
And if North Carolina goes on to win this game, obviously you look at the pitchers that ECU use as well. You say, okay, they've used a lot of their dudes too, so I don't mind using one of mine in this situation.
A lot to like and a lot to smile about for Scott Forbes. 2-2 on Paulson. Bouncer induced by Dawson Newman. Dante DeFranco.
What a play.
On him from Quinn Mayer. Boy, what a job by the former Gold Glove JUCO first baseman for out number 2.
Boy, this was good all the way around right here. Just a chopper right over the pitcher's head. And watch the shortstop coming from a long way. DeFranco comes in and just grabs it. The throw wasn't great, but watch the athleticism by the first baseman. Mayer goes up the ladder, collects it in all-in-one motion. Watch him apply the tag just in time. Well done.
I think got it on the left hand of Paulson. Now Cooper Nicholson. First pitch swinging through the left side past the dive of Nate Kirkpatrick to make it a 3-hit day in the NCAA regional debut in Cooper Nicholson's career.
How about that? 3 for 4. RBI single in the first, a solo shot there in the 3rd, and now a single in the 7th for Nicholson.
So Nicholson on with 2 outs in front of Tyler Howe. Ground out, strikeout, fly out. First pitch swinging, launched in the air to left center. But room for Nate Flores. Rather, Nate Flores there to put it away and end the inning. Dawson Newman's done a nice job these last 3 innings on in relief. VCU has been about as productive a late inning offense in this tournament throughout the season as any of the 64 teams. And Sean Thompson looking for that as they have threatened but haven't been able to break through against North Carolina, who goes to the bullpen for another premium arm. Last year an All-American as a freshman. This year second team ACC, the stud reliever Walker McDuffie.
Yeah, I tell you what, you look at the appearances on the year, man, 31 appearances. That's a lot. That's throwing nearly every other game, and it's not just about one inning. It's length from McDuffie, man. Fastball is a good one. They're going to average right about 93. He'll push up to 95 every now and then with a really good slider. That slider, 41% swing and miss. D1 average on a swing and miss slider, about 32%, to kind of give you an idea.
Yeah, that's the pitch for Walker McDuffie, who is 6th in the ACC with that ERA in the 2s.
I mean, look at the strikeouts, 79 and just 60 2/3. Now, walks every now and then can be an issue for him. 35 walks and 60 2/3, a little bit higher than what he would like. But the stuff is elite.
Yeah, he only throws 58% strikes. That's the lowest of about 90 qualified pitchers in the ACC. First pitch swinging, Trent Adelman flies out to Owen Hull. And Walker McDuffie is off and running. Man, you think about the way you structured this game for North Carolina. You get 7 from Ryan Lynch. If you keep this really anywhere below 50 pitches, you can bring back McDuffie tomorrow. He's got 50 and 50 back-to-back this year.
Yeah, it sets up really well for North Carolina. DeCaro will be on the mound, I would think, tomorrow for sure.
Yep. Back to the top, and 95 for strike one from Walker McDuffie. It's maxed out at 96 this year. Franco 0 for 3. He rolls this one to short, and that is 4 groundouts from DeFranco. This time it's Scheffner, and 2 quick ones for Walker McDuffie.
Man, North Carolina just makes all the plays, and we talked about their defense and how consistent it has been all year. A top 10 defense in Division I baseball when you talk about fielding percentage. And again, it gives the pitchers that hop up on that bump a lot of confidence to pitch to contact.
So the base is empty for Michael Petit. Slider is such an effective pitch for Walker McDuffie, and then he flashed a pretty good changeup too at the ACC tournament in Charlotte. It's been big for him this year.
Well, you can see the spin rate. We got the monitor in front of us. I mean, he's spinning that slider 2,900 RPMs. Big league average on a slider, to give you an idea, about 2,500 RPMs. What does that mean? That means the spin's a little bit tighter, the break is a little bit sharper, and a little bit later.
And that one backed up and still almost 2,900 again on the spin rate.
That's spinning a breaking ball.
McDuffie really arrived and put himself on the map last year as a true freshman. In his second career outing was early in the year. He got a save at East Carolina with a hitless 2 1/3. Now trying to finish this thing to face East Carolina in his second year tomorrow night in the 1-0 game.
And it's a little bit of deception too with McDuffie. I'm seeing him for the first time, but it's kind of herky-jerky. When he takes the ball out of the glove, he quickly gets it to the top. It's a little bit of a jerk, and sometimes I can throw the hitter off a little bit as well. But watch how quickly the ball comes out of his glove and how quickly he gets up by his ear. I mean, it is quick. A little bit of what we used to call a short arm in some ways.
And that really hides it from the hitter.
Yes, you can't see it, you can't pick it up. And that's kind of where pitchers are wanting to get these days. You know, it's hard to change the way you throw, but if you can quickly get it up where the hitter can't see the ball back behind you or over the top of your head, you kind of hiding it down low, he doesn't have a chance to pick the ball up.
Second time Michael Petit has walked, and now Ty Lethard. He's had some hard contact today, but nothing to show for it yet for VCU's 3-hitter.
Yeah, we've been saying this for a while, but it feels like for VCU, man, they've had some opportunities, not many, but one big swing for them, man, would just get them right back in the ball game. I mean, Lynch was so good. VCU only got, what, 3 opportunities with runners in score position. Of course, they were 0 for 3.
this is what we talked about with strike throwing a little bit for Walker McDuffie. If there's one bugaboo he's had at times this year, this has been it.
And boy, Lethert would love to get on base and get their big bopper and Jacob Lee to the plate.
That's a strike, 2-1. Scott Forbes trusts his best arms as much as really any coach in the country. 2-1. Lethert to first. Paulson, the diving stab. The ball to McDuffie. Hang with him, kid. Inning over.
That's so good right there. Well done by everybody. Paulson, an outstanding play. And let's not forget about McDuffie covering first base. And that's a rule of thumb for a pitcher, man. When the ball hits to the right side, get over to first base. But watch Paulson knock this ball in. This ball's blistered off the bat. He goes to the glove side, just knocks it down. Ball kicks away. But again, the internal clock and a nice feed to McDuffie, who was getting over and a fist pump by McDuffie. And we talked about this North Carolina defense, Mike. They just get it done on both sides of the ball.
Back in Chapel Hill with Ben McDonald, Mike Monaco with you, and our entire hard-working crew behind the scenes. Shout out to our great men and women who have plugged along on this two-game day, including 4.5 hours and a classic in the first one. 8-9-1 for North Carolina. Starts with Colin Heineck, who gets hit on the foot by Dawson Newman. And the leadoff man is on for the Tar Heels.
And the Tar Heels would love a little bit of insurance.
3 runs in the first, 1 in the third, nothing since. As they try to get to tomorrow night. Here's Carter French. Single and a walk. On a day around the country where, for regional hosts, it has not come easily. French drops one down. Newman will flip the first. And Heineck moves up to second with 1 away. How about this? In Tallahassee right now, 4-seed St. John's has just taken the lead in the top of the 9th inning on Florida State.
We talk about it all the time. I mean, game ones for you in the regionals, man, you just never know. We see it every year. Baseball is just a different game, man. Not the same in football, not the same in basketball, although there are upsets in basketball, but you see a lot more upsets in the baseball world, the college baseball world, than you do in any other sport.
Why?
Because all it takes is for an opposing pitcher, a 4-seed, for instance, to have a great day. And if your starting pitcher has a good day and he gives you a chance, you get a couple clutch base hits, man, anything can happen.
Jake Schaffner laces one into right center field, a base hit. Colin Heineck scores from second. Schaffner moves up on a bad throw from Trent Adelman. And there's some insurance for North Carolina.
Exactly what North Carolina wanted. 3 in the first, 1 in the third. A lot of zeros since then. And then here in the 8th inning, they play a little add-on. But Scott Forbes was playing for 1 run. When you sacrifice bunt, you're playing for 1 run. Carter French gets the sacrifice bunt down. Moves Heidnick to second base. And then Shafter comes up with a big RBI single.
And it prompts a visit from JoJo Howie with a pitch count at 51 for Dawson Newman. And some action in the pen with Cooper Wygant, junior right-hander from that low slot.
Yeah, very low slot, huh?
We love a good low slot joker, as the great Aaron Fitt of D1 baseball fame would say.
That's where we are in the pitching world now. What makes you different? And that could be a lot of different things. Could be an arm slot. Could be hiding the ball. Could be the analytical metrics. Could be a lot of different things.
And these Tar Heels fans in Chapel Hill are loving this. Packed house enjoying this one at the Bosch, where there's always some Bosch magic, like, as they call it.
Well, we got a full moon starting to rise out in the east. I see it coming up. So, you know, crazy things happen on full moons.
Oh, and Hull laces one fair over Mayer into the right field corner. Schaffner scores. Hull digs for third. It's an RBI triple for Owen Hull.
Man, Owen Hull, how about the strides on him, man? Looked like he was taking 2 or 3 strides in between first and second and third, and he just rips this ball down the right field line.
And how about the stop, drop, and roll from Scott Forbes in the coach's box at the end of it?
He trying to get out of the way. Oh, that's a nice swing, too. See where his nose was? Nose and head just directly on the baseball. Get down and get out of the way at the same time, huh?
That was pretty good. And now Sean Thompson comes out to make a move. Scott Forbes is saying, I had to do it, Brian. I had to do it.
I'm gonna need some ice for my knees after the ball game.
Says, Brian Lynch, you see that? And VCU makes the pitching change. Scott Forbes is living a good life right now. He's got a well-rounded baseball team that is the #5 national seed. He's getting some insurance late. We don't need anyone harmed in the process of the late innings here.
He got a little hop on his step and a little bit of a smile right there.
Yes, sir. Back in Chapel Hill, new arm for VCU is the junior right-hander from Beaverton, Oregon, the JUCO transfer Cooper Wygant.
There's the numbers on the year. Elevated ERA. Not a whole lot of work for him. Making his 13th appearance. One start mixed in there, but just 16 innings of work. Ronald Reagan fastball, mid-80s. A little slider and a changeup to go with it.
I've heard a lot of your great material through the years. I don't know if I've heard that one before.
That's going back a few years now. A lot of our listeners might not know who Ronald Reagan is, but I know you do.
Oh, man. Gavin Gallagher has been aboard 3 times. And he lays off. Pitch was down with the infield in. And Owen Hull at third. 2-1 on Gallagher. And not born in the mid-80s, but a junior leader on this team, a captain for Carolina.
Here we go.
2-1 is down. 3-1 on the sinker. Now, how many runs here of insurance would make you say, okay, Walker McDuffie, you've done your job for the night?
For me, I think you're there right now. I mean, you got to collect 3 more outs is all you need.
On the ground, base hit, and there's another run. Supplied by Gavin Gallagher, who's been aboard 4 times. It's 7-0, and that'll probably spell the end of the night for Walker McDuffie.
I would think so. You know, if I'm Scott Forbes, I want to save as many bullets as I can. And up 7-0 now, I feel pretty confident because there's a lot of talent. I mean, we talk about McDuffie, and of course, you talk about Glauber down there, but there's other guys down there with some big-time stuff. They just hadn't got a ton of opportunities to pitch this year because the starters have gone deep, and those 2 relievers we keep talking about have worked a lot of innings. But there's some other dudes down there.
Making Winslow the better. It was 13 pitches for McDuffie in the top of the 8th inning. And Big Ben, there have been times this year where Walker McDuffie has pitched all 3 games of a weekend series. So if you can get him out of here tonight with 13 pitches,
it would be huge.
Options.
It would be huge.
In the air, foul from, and it's 0-2. So yeah, you got Cam Padgett on the left, and then Matty Mateus on the right. Mateus, a leverage arm for North Carolina, whose stuff has gotten better here recently. And then Padgett, the guy who's been around this program too. So I think with those 2 guys up, McDuffie's done.
I would think so. If it was me, he would be done for me. So I'm like, if I can't hang on to a 7-run lead, and you still got your ace reliever down there too, just in case it gets crazy sideways, you have options as well.
And Caden Glauber, the freshman you mentioned, the ACC Freshman of the Year, who it would not be surprising to see start a game this weekend. Maybe if it stays right here, Mateus, maybe if a little more in terms of offense and insurance, maybe then Padgett. Winslow takes inside with a runner on the move and a stolen bag for Gavin Gallagher.
Gallagher now 7 for 7 on the year in stolen bases.
The pitch. Up high. Now it's 2-2. The count on Macon Winslow. It's stopped by Ty Lethert. Full count on Winslow. Winslow, the single and a run scored in the first. Line out to third, pop foul to third, and then a fly out to right Carolina's cleanup man. And now the 7th pitch of the plate appearance. On the ground up the middle. Alec Warden makes the play and was well positioned for out number 2. So 2 away. Gavin Gallagher over to 3rd. And here comes Eric Paulson. It's been a really good defender for North Carolina.
Yeah, and he had the big blow back in the first inning, too. A 2 RBI double.
Scott Forbes has told us the bat has gotten better for Paulson as this year has gone along. After the 2 years at Stony Brook, 2-year starter there. Freshman All-American to start, and then excellent last year.
Good with the bat, but he's made a couple of really solid plays on defense. He's been good on both sides of the ball for North Carolina.
He expanded there, and it's 0-2. Carolina with runners in scoring position tonight, 5 for 9. Oh-2 down and blocked by Ty Lethard. North Carolina has added 3 runs of insurance here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Trying to get to tomorrow night against East Carolina. Those teams, by the way, had a 3-game series early this season that they split. They split a 3-game series. Rubber game finale ended in a tie because of weather. Stopped early.
Interesting.
The rare 3-game split.
I was wondering where the 45-11-1 came in for North Carolina. There's no ties in baseball.
No.
But there was once this year.
And thankfully, no more times the rest of the way. 3 balls and 2 strikes on Eric Paulson. Cooper Wygant deals. This is lace past the shift into right field. Another linea for Eric Paulson. 8-0 Tar Heels.
The Tar Heels pulling it on here in the 8th inning. They got 3 in the first, 1 in the 3rd, and then blanked in the 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th, but a 4 spot here in the 8th.
.107 off the bat there of Eric Paulson, and now Cooper Nicholson, who's had quite the NCAA tournament debut. 3 for 4 with a solo tank. Strike 1 to start. All 3 hits to the pull side for the very strong 3rd baseman Cooper Nicholson. Oh, 1. Thought about it and takes a strike. I mean, VCU's had base runners in this game, but 0 for 7 with runners aboard. 0 for 3 with runners in scoring position compared to what Carolina's done with traffic.
Yeah, Carolina pitch has just been too good. They've made some big pitches when they needed to.
See the 4 2-out RBIs for UNC that got started right away with 3 runs with 2 outs in the 1st inning. And then Ryan Lynch backed it up all day with that early support.
Yeah, Scott Forbes just kind of saddled up Lynch and just rode him through 7 innings.
Strikeout there for Cooper Wygant to end the 8th inning. We go to the 9th, and it'll belong to Matty Mateus against VCU. watching the NCAA Baseball Regionals presented by Capital One. Beautiful sunset in Chapel Hill, North Carolina. And you said this earlier, Ben, a full moon. What do we got here?
On a full moon down the bayou, the Rougarou comes out. He's this mythical creature.
Pardon?
Yes, and the Cajun people used to threaten their kids when they were young and say, if you don't behave, we'll put you outside and let the Rougarou get you, because the Rougarou only shows up on the bayou on full moons only.
The Rougarou.
The Rougarou.
Am I saying that right?
Yeah, the Rougarou. He's there. If you Google him, you'll see half man, half monster.
To the ninth inning. Top 9 in Chapel Hill. No Rougarou, but they called this guy the Vulture a couple years ago. He was grabbing wins left and right in relief. Matty Mateus back from the internal brace elbow surgery.
Yeah, fastball, little slider, curveball, and a changeup from Mateus. Uses that fastball about 45% of the time. Fastball is going to be anywhere from 89 to 93. There's the numbers on the year, making his 24th appearance. 3-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio, which is really good.
A guy who pitched a couple times in Charlotte at the ACC tournament and looked very effective. He's the best strike thrower on their pitching staff. It's nearly 70% strikes. Heavy with his cutter, which has a lot of downward movement for the native of Greenville, North Carolina.
And you talk about right over the top, and it's an unusual move. First time I'm seeing it, but watch him just kind of leave his left side and his head goes down, and boy, he just gets it right over the top.
This is Jacob Lee in the air to right, and that'll fade off foul. And that was the cutter right there. I mean, it's diving down from Mateus.
Yeah, it's almost like seeing it for the first time. It's like a bullet spin slider, meaning it just kind of, it doesn't have the right to left in it like a lot of cutters or sliders do from right-handers. It's got that just downward action, and we call it like bullet spin, where it just kind of bottoms out and goes straight down. And he does that because he's got a very high arm slot. You can see him. It's a little bit unusual where he kind of yanks the left side, the head goes to, and then the arm slot goes right over the top.
There goes up the ladder at 91 on Jacob Lee. This is the 100th appearance of Mateus's career. He's facing Lee, who has singled and walked. Best bat for VCU. Scott Forbes said last weekend that Matty Mateus a real X factor for North Carolina. If he can be trustworthy in leverage spots, which he's looked recently, that's another arm to factor in. Cut and a miss. North Carolina 2 outs away from Saturday night.
Just an elevated heater, top shelf. 6 strikeouts tonight for North Carolina pitching. Boy, that's just a good four-seamer just above the belt.
So 1 away for Nick Flores. 2 ground balls to third and a walk in the 4th inning. That's her foul. And VCU put some traffic aboard. No shame in the way they battled and tried to get base runners on against Lynch and McDuffie and now Mateus. But too much from this North Carolina pitching staff. One of the best in the entire sport. Ball and a strike on Flores. So again, North Carolina can follow Ryan Lynch with Jason DeCaro tomorrow night against East Carolina. We'll see what East Carolina does in terms of pitching. Maybe Luke Payne, the Tennessee transfer, start. He's made 7 starts this year, and then try to piece things together.
That's what you're going to have to do. And you're going to need some guys to step up that maybe hadn't been in big leverage moments, maybe hadn't pitched a lot of innings for you.
That's a strike, and it's 2-2. And you know, no matter what, East Carolina is going to be ready to go. Two-two. Check swinging went around. Mateus with back-to-back Ks, and North Carolina's 1 out away.
filling up the zone, too. 10 pitches, 7 of which have been strikes. Back-to-back strikeouts. That one, first one on the fastball, the little slider working down and away.
And now Nate Kirkpatrick. Last hope for VCU. And this is vintage North Carolina, a program that's got 14 shutouts in NCAA tournament history entering today. They had one last year in their regional opener against a 4-seed in Holy Cross. They got a 4-0 win. And trying to blank VCU in this year's opener. 0-2 on Kirkpatrick. Crowd to its feet in Chapel Hill. Matty Mateus Diaz. Cut out and missed. A combined 2-hit shutout for North Carolina pitching, led by Ryan Lynch. And the Tar Heels blank the Rams in the regional opener for these two. And it'll be North Carolina against East Carolina tomorrow night.
Big time effort by Ryan Lynch. And Scott Forbes got exactly what he wanted. Some length, 7 innings, 2 hits, did not allow a run with 5 strikeouts. McDuffie for 1. And Mateus, how about him coming in and punches out the side? The difference in the ball game, North Carolina big, but runners in scoring position. 6 for 10. And of course, VCU only had 3 opportunities. They were 0-3.
So we got 2 games coming your way tomorrow. It starts at noon Eastern, an elimination game between the 2-seed Tennessee and the 4-seed VCU. You can watch everything on the ESPN app, and then overnight, probably when you wake up tomorrow, we'll have the television information for you on where else you can watch it. And then 5 o'clock Eastern tomorrow, North Carolina and East Carolina for the 4th time this season. Big Ben, that was fun, my friend.
That was fun. It was a long day, but it was very fun.
Don't fear the Rougarou.
Watch out for the Rougarou, Mikey. Get to your hotel room as fast as you can.
For Big Ben and our entire crew, led by Matt Bartley and Steve Turnberger, I'm Mike Monaco saying so long from Chapel Hill. .108. That's your career high in pitches, man, and you were still pumping 90.